even like that in the beginning.
Really?
He was actually just one kind of guy, and he just kind of slowly became that character. And then afterwards, it was just like he became that character, and then he didn't like he just remained consistent with that, and he didn't stop.
Yeah.
And so now he's forever in that mold.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, this just happens sometimes with some people. So.
Somebody, it was Joe Rogan that was talking about Bill O'Reilly, and they were saying they think that started as a character, or maybe it still is a character. What he does.
Yeah, I heard that he has like a bad case of the pathological liars. he's like a bad case of that. He just cannot stop lying up to the point where he just believes it now that he's convinced of everything that he says.
I don't know. I haven't checked his facts or anything.
And I saw this one interview he did with David Letterman, and they are apparently really good friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dave's a big liberal.
Yeah, he is a big liberal. But he was totally like putting him down on his own, talk show.
Maybe I saw that. I might have seen that.
Do you know Harmony Korine?
Who?
Harmony Korine? He's this one director, and he directed this movie called Kids. You ever heard of Kids before?
I've heard of Children.
It's like a really fucked up movie, and it's about like a bunch of these kids in New York City and stuff. And that's good. And it's just them just like on a summer day, just kind of fucking around, just being kids. And it looks like a documentary, but it feels real, and it's like it feels like a really depressing movie. And then he came out with another movie called Gummo.
Wait, but it was acting?
It was all acting, but it looked like a documentary. It's just his style and stuff. And how messed up his movies are is exactly how he expresses himself in real life. He's very awkward and stuff. And it was like the most awkward interview I ever saw on David Letterman. Maybe I can find it. I can show it to you.
I don't know. Joaquin Phoenix was pretty awkward.
Joaquin Phoenix? Oh, okay. I thought you meant a guy named Phoenix who's walking. Joaquin Phoenix. Wacko Phoenix. Apparently there's a new movie that's coming out with him that was unfinished for the longest time, and it's finally coming out. It probably did come out already, but no one knew about it because it's just like who is Joaquin? There's like a new generation, they have no idea who this guy is.
Wait, it's not that one that came out a while back. That thing was like a documentary of his life or something.
No, it's an actual movie.
Oh, okay.
Of
whole generation doesn't know him. Well,
yeah.
I barely know him.
Yeah, it's like
he
all
was
these.
Good in Gladiator. That's all I know.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. Isn't that
Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Isn't that his brother?
River Phoenix. Are you thinking of River Phoenix?
I'm thinking of River Phoenix, but you're okay. Joaquin Phoenix. I'm just like, that guy died, and you're like, yeah, that sucks. But I'm pretty sure he made some good movies. And everyone, listening, is just like, you fucking retards. That's what happens usually when we get things incorrect and inaccurate. People just don't Google us and get mad at us. Okay.
Are we in an interview right now?
Yeah, actually.
Have we been interviewing?
Yeah, we actually started a while ago, so it's okay.
Good.
That's good. So we're just starting.
If you keep it off that screen, I might forget that we're interviewing.
I know, I just had to check if it was actually still recording. Oh, but we should actually look through some videos and check some links, and then we can just post it online and just let other people know what we're checking out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
As we go, anyways. So, okay, let's just start it up. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is The Artist Journey. I'm your host, Wilfred Lee, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Aaron Philby.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까?
안녕하십니까?
Yes. 혹시 한국말 말 수 있어요?
조금 한국말 수 있어요.
그러면 한국에서 얼마 동안 여기 살았어요?
잘 모르겠습니다.
오케이, 그러면은 한국에서 지금 일이 뭐 하세요? 일.
Caricature.
Caricature?
Caricature.
Caricature. So, for all those people who don't understand what we're talking about, that just proves that Aaron can speak really good Korean.
For 2 questions.
And you should be impressed.
Yes.
Because even if he didn't understand, he actually responded back in Korean. I have no idea what you're saying, but he said it in the highest form of respect, which is always the best.
I'm lost.
Isn't that crazy though how it kind of messes with your head in the beginning because you know for myself when I was starting Korean I had to always be super conscious of using yo at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know because when you're learning it, you know you know there's all those different degrees, and then afterwards in the beginning you're just trying to communicate, and then you're like hey, odi yo or like something that the
Yeah, I'm
yo.
throwing yos in like 3 seconds after and
Yeah.
all the time.
It's kind of like being a rapper or like a black person because you're always saying
Exactly
yo.
like that.
And when you're on the phone, you're just like, just like hip hopping, like that.
You gotta say yo to be polite. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so great, eh? Just you have to say yo in order to be polite.
Yeah, if you do it in America, it comes off as impolite.
I wonder if that would ever rub off if you ever go back. Do you think that would rub off? You'll just start saying yo at the end.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yo.
I don't think so, yo. What's up, yo? Yeah, it's one of those things.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just to start off everything, we're gonna talk about Aaron and his life. He did mention while he was speaking Korean that he is a caricature artist that is currently living in Korea and working at Fun Caricature based on Yonibu's caricature place. So let's just go back a little bit. How did you get into caricature? How did that all started for you?
From art school, they come looking for people that want to draw caricatures at Cedar Point, which
Really?
is in Ohio. It's a lovely park, and yeah. So I was interested in doing that because I didn't really have any other jobs lined up, and I'd been sort of messing with caricature since I was a wee little kid. So I figured I might have a leg up, hopefully, and show people what's up and then get into illustration or something like that. But now I don't think that way anymore. I think live caricature is kind of pretty cool stuff.
So at the time, there were actually people looking for people to do caricatures?
Yeah, they come to the art school there, looking for people.
Oh, it's
so
kind of like recruiting?
it's a nice art. It's a good art school. So it's recruiting. They don't recruiting. Yeah, it's more like recruiting. I mean, if you go to a high school, you might be kind of picking through people and like, is there anybody here that we can use? But art school is kind of like whoever's willing to do it can pretty much get the job.
Wow, that's awesome. That's almost like a scout for sports, when you're like playing football and you're like, that number 52, Aaron Philby's pretty good. I hope we can get
That's
this
the
guy.
way I wish it was that. That's the way I thought it'd be for
We
art.
could just sponsored by Sharpies and stuff. And,
yeah. So only in caricature though. Everything else, like illustration, everything, you gotta send stuff and beg people to hire you. From my perception, I haven't really dug into that too deep, but I like caricature because there's demand for the artist. I like that.
So, do you remember your first experience as caricature artist? Like in the beginning, before you worked for them, there was obviously like a training process you had to do?
Yeah, they train you for a couple weeks. They have you doing demonstration caricatures of people, and you sit people down and try it out on them, and practice and stuff. And they do line quality exercises and stuff. Thick and thin, and over and over, and then you just start sitting people down and do like that. But my first caricature was a princess caricature.
Little guy?
A little girl. No, a little girl was a
Okay.
princess. Just a typical thing. And they liked it and everything. And then the second one was a reject. It was the father and his son. And it was a reject. And it was very heartbreaking. Yeah, very difficult.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny in the beginning how heartbreaking it is when someone rejects it.
Yeah.
But now, like even if you do get a reject, are you still feel the same way, or is it just like whatever?
It all depends on the situation.
Yeah.
More and more, I just want to get over any kind of ego stuff that might get there, and to the point where you can still talk to the customer. That's my goal, just to be able to kind of engage a little further without getting worked up about it. Because that's in the past, it's kind of getting worked up, and you can't really confront people and learn anything from the experience. But now, I think that's my challenge, is try to get the reject. But I haven't had a reject in a long time. It's been like.
But what do you mean by getting worked up though? Like
I don't know.
worked up how?
I don't know. I get worked up, like if it's a reject, and especially if it's a crappy situation, you can get worked up and get kind of like where if you talk to them, it'll end up being aggressive. It'll end up being confrontational. But I think if I can be cool about it, then it won't be confrontational, and you can just kind of learn something about people and the way other people see caricature, because we get so lost in the caricature world. Those of us that do it every day, that it's hard. Sometimes it's easy to forget, the perspective of the general public.
How they view the caricature as and stuff. And it's kind of funny because usually when they don't like a caricature and they say, I thought I was going to get something else, and then sometimes you want to explain to them the true meaning of caricature. You're like, listen, this is what it really is, and this is what it's really about. It's just like, listen, I have no time for this. We're at an amusement park. I just want to get it or get a reject or get someone else to do it and stuff. I mean, how different do you think your perception of caricature is compared to just the regular customer that goes in there? Like, do you feel that that kind of experience is the same for both that person and yourself?
That's where you want it to be. I think you want to know where they are and kind of meet them where they are, but not quite where they are, and so that they're a little uncomfortable enough to laugh or get upset or just some kind of reaction. Just kind of have, but I don't know.
No, but I do see what you're saying, because, for example, the customer, they see the caricature on a very superficial level. They just see it as what it is, and for you, it's more kind of, it could be in a deeper sense because you're thinking about in it much more differently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's because,
and then sometimes you might meet in the middle. You know what I mean?
I think it's well, the caricature community, we kind of have our own kind of standards, and we know what we're looking for, like when we're looking at other people's artwork and stuff, and what kind of stuff gets us excited, and we have our own kind of little communication between us, but the public is somewhere else, and I'm not sure that we're exactly where they are. We're kind of in a different spot. But that doesn't mean that they're off base. But sometimes that's where it is. Like, we'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and we get that attitude like they don't know what they're talking about. I think that sometimes means that we're just too caught up in what kind of game we're playing with our friends, caricature wise.
Yeah, I guess the caricature community, it gets really deep in there and stuff. Like, when I started caricature, I was like, wow, I was like, really could appreciate how deep it can get with just caricature and just observing people in a different way and stuff, and just kind of going back to what we were talking about before about having that kind of experience with the person and trying to talking with them, being engaged with it. I listened to this one interview with Kat Von D. Do you know Kat Von D? She's like a
tattoo artist.
Tattoo artist. Yeah, she was actually with Joe Rogan. She was talking about it, and it was interesting. She said the most interesting experience was the conversations you have with the person who's getting tattooed, because it's not just like haircut conversation. You know what I mean? When you get a haircut, so where are you from? Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, my daughter's goes to school there too and stuff. But when you have tattoos, they talk about really intense stories and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I bet they would.
And because like you're getting this tattoo, on your chest of this baby for a reason, or your grandma or something, or like, so one guy totally wrote this girl's name on his penis, and he has to get it worked off. So that's such an amazing story that they're going to talk about, Yeah. And they have the different experiences. So I guess in a way, caricature artist is a mix between tattoo artist and a hairstylist in terms of
that's perfect
conversation and talking about stuff. Or not.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I never got a tattoo before.
No. Would you ever get a tattoo?
I'm not planning on it, but you never know.
No, you're just not into it and stuff.
I don't know.
Is it? I guess.
Someday.
I guess it's one of those things with tattoos. Like, you have to really commit to it, and
yeah.
I don't know. For me, I don't have any tattoos. I don't really plan on it, but if I ever do, I'm pretty sure I would know exactly what I would want, and you would probably maybe design your own tattoo or something, right?
No, you never know.
Let's get your friend to do it.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe me and Sammy will do tattoos after we get married. Oh yeah, I'm getting married, everybody. By the way.
Yeah, news alert, everyone! Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, how did that happen? I mean, in terms of how did you propose to her? Did you do something special?
On the subway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just had the ring in my pocket, and I was kind of waiting for the time to do it, and just kind of feeling it out when was the right time. And we were waiting. We were talking about something, and I was thinking about the ring. I don't know what she was saying, and then. But she thought I was all intense and like thinking about something for the ring, and she thought I was upset about something. She said, "Are you okay? Is that okay if we do such and such a thing?" And I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about that. But then we got on the subway, and then I pulled out the ring, and I said, "Hold on a second, I got something for you. I got a present for you or something." And I popped it right on her finger, and I said, "Will you marry me?" or something, and she's like, "Ah!" She's like laughing and stuff.
She laughed at like his.
Oh yeah, she's cracking up.
That was like the perfect reaction too from Sammy too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
she was like,
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that's what's up.
But what about the everyone else around?
They didn't know. But then at one point,
it's so funny.
After like the moment happened, she was just kind of. We were like close together. It was crazy full subway, and she was just like. Ah. But then at one point I got down on my knee, like after that, just to kind of like heighten the moment or something. But I didn't do that at first. I didn't do the gentlemanly thing, but I did it later. I got on my knee, and then she was all like super embarrassed because I just wanted some people to see. I wanted something, you know. Yeah. But then she's like, get up. Oh, okay. And so she said, yeah. So we're getting married October 27.
Awesome. That's great.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to go.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to go. It's going to be fun.
Have to, but, yeah.
Awesome. So, wow. And also, just for those people who don't know, Sammy, she's also a really good caricature artist and stuff. And what's really interesting, if you guys don't, Aaron has a Facebook account as well. Sammy does too. And you should totally check out their artwork because it's really awesome. You guys do like so many versions of caricatures of each other, sometimes together, sometimes separate. But what's so great is that it starts to constantly evolve, and it always changes each time. Like one is completely different from the other, but it's still Sammy or it's still you and stuff like that.
Ideally, yeah.
So in terms of doing that, for example, you look at one person and then you want to approach them differently. What is the mind frame for that? Like how do you get into that mode?
It's pretty much just you see something that you didn't you kind of pinpoint something that you didn't pinpoint before. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, I wonder if I can pull that off. I wonder if I can get that feel. Like, oh, it seems like that ought to make sense if I do such and such this way. Like you see something different about their face or and then so you go for it. And more now, I'll just, as long as I can, well, you go for it, and then maybe it doesn't work out, and then you pitch it. But sometimes it's kind of like, well, all right, I think I can finesse something out of this, and then you get something. But before, like in the early days, I'd have to get it to a perfect point where it looks exactly like how I want it to look. But now, as long as I can kind of finesse something, then I'll keep it. That's pretty much how that works. So you get a lot of different drawings that way. Just trying to go with an idea rather than
be more specific to what you want exactly. You just a little bit more free with just how the end result is in a way.
Yeah. It's more free with the end result. But yeah, I guess so. That sounds about right.
So is that influence? Has that happened since you came to Korea? I've noticed that your style when you're in the States compared to now, I feel like it really changed a lot. Yeah, I can really see it. And it could be something as simple as, using the different markers you're using and stuff like that. But still, style-wise, I can see it totally, evolving in a different way.
Oh, I think that's healthy.
Yeah, because, I've seen some of your drawings when you're doing it with like a felt marker or something, like a tip pen. And you were doing like those kind of, not really cross-hatching, but just kind of doing the lines, insinuate some shadows and stuff.
Okay.
And those kind of caricatures was like totally different from caricatures you're doing now in Korea. Like do you feel any type of like difference or influence since you've been in Korea about how you approach your caricature in terms of style or?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's kind of a different. well, there's a different kind of look about the caricatures here in Korea, and different kind of attitude toward it, and it's still genuine caricature, but it's sort of a different mentality from. Well, I don't know. SeaWorld is all about pushing it as far as you can, and doing something really really cool, designy and interesting, and then Korea is similar. Well, there's less drawings of each other going on. There's less kind of caricature artist to caricature artist caricatures happening. And there, I think people like just the customer caricatures.
Mm-hmm.
There's is more looked at as the end all be all, whereas in, I don't know, maybe in San Diego there was more emphasis on friend caricatures, maybe. I don't know, I'm not sure. But the cross hatching, that was more like Balboa Park. That was where we used to draw just for tips, just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just sort of like you have more time and you can just relax. And I don't know, I was interested in trying to do cross hatching and like illustration looking stuff, rather than everything all Marquette and thick and thin and everything.
Yeah, so I guess in a way, you know, even the type of tool that you use totally, you know, changes how you approach
Oh, yeah, I think so.
the character itself.
Yeah. The water markers are way different from the Marquettes. You can't really get as thin and thick. You gotta.
It's hard to control, right? Like,
yeah.
you have to be a little bit more. Yeah, it's all about sometimes getting just the right one.
It is.
You're like going to the shop and you find like 50, you just open all of them. You're like, no, not this one, not this one.
Yeah. Having a good the marker makes all the difference. It really does.
Yeah, it's okay.
And they don't even make good Marquette tips anymore, I don't think.
No.
So if I go back to America, I'm gonna be really sad to just have to use something different. I don't know.
It's a sad day.
Sad
the
day.
Marquettes are gone.
And sometimes you get a really nice water marker, and you can make magic with that thing, but it's very rare. And once you ride that tip a little too hard, it's dead. It's gone. You're just stuck with crappy.
And they're not
lines.
refillable either, too.
Water markers are refillable.
But the other ones, the Marquettes?
The Marquettes aren't refillable now.
It's just like one show and that's it.
Yeah,
right?
one show and you toss it.
Yeah. It's quite the sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, people keep their Marquettes though, and they let them sit upside down and let all the ink drip to the top. And there's different procedures for reloading them.
Really?
If you look on YouTube or whatever, you can. Yeah, if you're interested.
Isn't that funny how in depth, you know, artists can get about like the markers and the pens and stuff like that? Because actually, I've been using a lot of mechanical pencils these days. I never really used it before. I really just like getting kind of like a 4H or like a really just kind of any type of dark leaded kind of pencil.
4H?
Or 2B, 4B, something, something
soft.
like that. And then really soft and dark and heavy. And now I'm just using like a mechanical pencil, and it's, you know, you can't really do like a thick and thin line. It's just about like just slowly scratching like that, and fully see how, you know, my style is, I guess, adapts to that particular tool, you know, because before I never really used it, so I'm just like, oh, okay, I can see how, you know, how much it's changing, you know, what I'm doing and stuff. And I guess I'm kind of worried sometimes, you know, like sometimes you get so used to one type of tool, you know, that you don't really want to kind of go out and try different things, you know. But for yourself, like, do you ever try, is there any, like, what is the most interesting type of tool that you've been using, or something else that you really want to experiment with that you haven't yet?
Oh, computer.
Digital? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a Wacom tablet one of these days or something like that.
We can make a fundraiser. We should make a fundraiser for you to get a Wacom tablet.
We got plans to get one of those.
Do like a Kickstarter.
Okay.
Get that
Send
organized.
money so I can get a Wacom tablet.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a charity event for get Aaron a Wacom tablet.
I'm not that curious though, so don't jump on it because I might not even use it. I might just.
Really? No, I think you. Why not? I mean, that would be perfect.
I don't know. I had to do a gig with the Samsung Galaxy. Have you done
Oh
those?
yeah.
Oh.
Those are
That's
terrible.
a nightmare.
That's like MS Paint on a phone.
Oh, but worse.
Yeah,
Much
worse.
smaller and the delay.
Oh my god.
Awful delay.
Yeah.
Samsung, no good.
No wonder they're gonna get sued for billions of dollars from Apple and stuff like that.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, like they had that, that patent war, and then they actually owe Apple like at least. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. They owe them like at least $2 billion for copyright infringement. And then there was this rumor online that said that Samsung paid them back, but old in nickels. So they had like tons of trucks going there. And then immediately I was like, that's hilarious. But, like, there's no way this is true. And someone's like, think about it, people. There's not enough nickels in the world to put that many things and put it in front of the Apple Store. But still, it's a pretty cool concept and stuff. Yeah. But like, imagine if they did that. How great would that be? Just like, all right, you win the claim and the lawsuit, but I'm fucking you, giving you nickels and stuff. That would be the best fuck you to them. Just like, do whatever you want to do.
I got nothing nickels. To get Samsung. I know Samsung's watching this. Just Samsung. Say.
Yeah. Samsung, we love you.
Yeah, but that gig was awful. But give me more gigs, please.
Yeah, that's just more motivation to make something better. It's hilarious. So, in terms of exaggeration, what advice do you have for some people if they want to, really push what they see and stuff?
Maybe I'm not the one to ask that.
I disagree.
I think. Oh, thank you. I wasn't prepared for this question. There's just so many things to say.
But dude, you've lived with it for all your life, right?
Exaggeration.
I mean, like when you.
It's just about honesty. It's just about when you feel something. If you feel something, I'm not sure if I feel stuff when I look at somebody's face. If you feel something in your customer or in your friend, and you just have to go for it. You have to try it. You can always start over. I mean, that's frowned upon, but you can start over if you mess up.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Most people, when they screw up, they're just like, I can't do it again. They just gotta keep going, and they're just like, I know they're gonna reject them. They see your face, like they never see your drawing, but they'll look at your face. It's just like, oh, you're like putting that line. Oh fuck, and they're just like, oh, I guess this is not going to be good. And then people are looking at you drawing from behind, and then they're looking at their face.
Yeah, that's why it's important to keep it talking with people, and just as long as you're cool with everybody, then don't even worry about it. But if you're starting off, you get in the mode. It's really easy just to simplify it into a game where you can't start over. I don't know. That's the only rule. You can't start over. It's got to be 3 minutes. And
3 minutes?
Well, black and white. I don't know.
Black and white.
It's gotta be 5 minutes, 3 minutes, black and white, whatever your limit is. 10 minutes colored.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But you can always start over. You can talk to the customer. You can say. The other day I said this. I never say this, but I was really comfortable with the customer. They asked me. They said, "Oh, pretty. Ipugeju seo means pretty, please.
Yeah.
Make it pretty." And I said, "Okay, here's the scale. Here is funny and here is pretty. Where do you want to be on the scale?" It was a guy and a girl together, and the girl, she pointed at the pretty side.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, okay, just so you know, the further you are from here, the further you are from here, the less soljikeo, I say, which means honesty. So if you pick here, I can't. Soljikeo more difficult is what I said. Honesty more difficult. The more closer over here." And they laughed at that, which is. Maybe they thought I was insulting them, but I'm always kind of afraid about that. I'm always afraid about that part you say, because if they say pretty, I was like, well, does that mean I can't be honest? But so you're saying I'm not pretty? No, but just, okay. So she pointed right in the middle. So then I was like, okay, I'm a little more comfortable. But I didn't even pay any attention to that. I just drew it the way I would have drawn it anyway.
Yeah, you just kind of give them some leeway, illusion of choice.
But I don't know. She was still like, oh, I thought it's not pretty. I don't know. She said ugly or something, but...
Funny. But what about her boyfriend? What did he say? Was he just like...
No, he liked it. He was just
like waiting for his girlfriend's reaction first. Like, what do you think, honey? She was like, it's okay. Let's go get it.
He liked it. But there's there's little things that I kind of think, but I never say. But more now I'm trying to say them like that. And like, what was the other one? I can't remember right now. This is not the time to remember things. But
so you, in a way, you have like a certain things to say, right, when you're doing caricatures with someone. Like for myself, what I usually used to say was I look at them and I say, can can you just smile just a little bit? Not too much, just like this much. And then they're just like, they're kind of smirking. I'm like, perfect, don't move, stay right there. And they kind of like smile too big because it's just kind of funny for them. I'm like, oh, that's too much. I'm like totally serious.
It's a good
like,
idea.
Really, don't do that.
Oh, it's so hard to get smiles from Koreans sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially
But if you say to them, 조금 웃어주세요, 조금, like this, just a little bit, because they'll go like this, and then they'll just naturally smile like that.
That's a good trick.
And then
the girls will smile. They'll say smile, and then they'll smile, and then they'll cover it. Same time they're smiling. That happens all the time. Like, oh, I almost caught that. Yeah, I almost saw your smile. Sorry for asking.
Isn't that how West out that is? Like, girls will, when they smile here, they'll cover their mouths, but when they sneeze, they won't cover their mouth. But they eat, they'll talk with their mouth full and stuff.
Oh,
and sometimes, but only when they laugh, they'll cover their mouth like that.
I see people cover their mouth sometimes when they sneeze.
Yeah,
sometimes.
But you remember when you sneeze, no one says "bless you" anymore in Korea.
I'm starting to stop saying that. I used to.
I stopped too. Yeah, I kind of gave up on that, and then sometimes I don't say it anymore. And then when I sneeze, a Korean person will say "bless you" to me, and I'm just like, man, I feel like an asshole right now. I never said "bless you" to you. Maybe only because I'm a foreigner. They'll just say, "Oh, okay, bless you" and stuff.
They're practicing their English. That's all.
Yeah, it's so funny. So so I guess there's always different things you can do and say to like the customer to get them going and stuff, and everyone has their own kind of canned things. I don't know what else I used to do, but I think the one thing that's really engaging, I remember when I do caricatures sometimes, is my face gets really animated when I'm looking at them, and I don't even realize it because I usually don't wear my glasses, but I should. And then I'm doing this drawing, and I just stop, and I'm just like looking at them like this, and my eyebrows go up and down like this, a little bit crazy, and just like sometimes you notice that they'll kind of do the same facial reactions as you do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or if I'm going like this, and then I go like this, I just I gotta focus. They'll go like this too. It's always like this mirror thing, and because at that point sometimes they're only gauging how much. How well you're doing based on what your reaction is, and how well you can see them and stuff like that.
I feel myself drifting into that a little bit, like like a persona of like
slowly taking their soul away.
Yeah, it's slowly taking, but like my actions would be kind of guided in that way, like I don't know, looking like a certain type of person, like what's the word, like what's the word,
a
like
big scary
sweating.
Russian guy. Like that's the word.
No, like an artist that's like all like frazzled or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that persona though, but like that's what's gotten me as far as I have. Like, oh, he's really trying, bless his heart.
Yeah.
But just kind of be like, okay, I'll make little sounds. I don't know, but I want to get out of that. I want to just be natural with the people. That's because I think the talking is just as important, maybe. Mm-hmm. Like just.
But how do you find like talking with your customers here? Because I would is it maybe like 85% Korean? Your customers these days. Yeah. Like the major percentage is about Korean, right?
Yeah,
so,
Korean people.
I mean, when you talk with them, is there anything? Is it always the same relatively, or do you guys have any interesting conversations sometimes?
It's usually nothing.
It's also blurred.
But sometimes depending on whatever's going on, I'll try and say some Korean or what have you.
You know what you should do? You should say, okay, I'm going to teach you some English right now, and you're drawing while you do that. And then at the end, it's like, even if they do reject it, you're like, but I taught you English, so you owe me money.
Yeah.
$10 extra.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's really difficult for me to draw and think about the drawing and think about the conversation at the same time.
Yeah, that's really hard. That's why I'm not really good one-on-one with the people, because they'll be like, hey, so where you from? I'm like, oh, me? It's like, I'm from wherever, Kansas or whatever I can say, and then if I get too much involved with it, like your focus is not entirely on the drawing itself, and then you kind of lose distraction, and sometimes if it gets longer, it's okay if we're really connecting in that way, because they just actually are interested in talking with you and stuff. Yeah. But if there's a part where you're just kind of talking and you're like less focusing on it, I don't know, it kind of feels like it feels like it's affecting my drawing, and it's like, maybe it's not really going the way how I want it to be.
Yeah. It's just like that.
Anyways, so for these days, you know, what is a regular routine for like a caricature artist? Like what should you expect when you go there and when you finish? For people who don't really know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna draw you. I'm gonna do my best, and maybe it'll be funny, maybe it won't be funny, but I'm gonna give it a shot. It's gonna look something like you, hopefully. No, it will. It will. It'll have some kind of resemblance. It's honest. It's gonna be honest.
It's gonna be honest.
Honest in some way, shape, or form.
Uh-huh.
You can just relax, be comfortable. I'm gonna stare at you. You can stare at me. That's okay. If you want to look in my eyes, that's fine. I'm looking at your eyes. It's nothing personal. Yeah.
This feels like what is it? One of those personals. Like you're putting an ad on Craigslist, you know, like miscellaneous romance.
Personal. Between me and my audience, it's very personal.
Listen, girl, I know we haven't met yet, but when we do, I'm gonna start looking at you. You're looking at me.
It's nothing personal.
I'm gonna draw you. You may not like it, but I'm just gonna be honest, baby. Call me back. Meet me later.
But that's a special thing about live caricature is this is the only place that you can just like stare at somebody. So we can take advantage of that in some way.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe people that just want to stare at somebody. This is where they can do that. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. You just sit there and stare at somebody.
Actually, and that's the best thing to do because like one of those things that you can do before you start. It's like, okay, now we're gonna judge each other, and I just say that like, hey, now you and me.
You say that to your customer.
Yeah.
We're gonna judge each other.
Yeah, let's judge each other now. You can just look at me or something, and then let's just see how that goes.
Do you get their
because obviously you're gonna judge them, right?
Yeah.
It's like so super self-conscious if they've never done caricature before, and if you do like a really good job, like it's so awesome when everyone's all behind you and they're like looking at you draw, and then they just want to wait. They just want to wait and see until you turn that paper over, and they just want to wait to see that person's reaction, to see how they react to that and stuff, you know. And that's a really interesting thing, and then like you said, like it is about being honest because you are really judging them, you know. You're just sitting there, and then you're deciding what is like their most interesting features and stuff, and try to just attenuate that, you know, exaggerate it to see the more you exaggerate one part of their face, it should be more truthful to how they really look. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just one of the most interesting things, and you always meet like so many different types of people, all the time. You know, like the people who come and get caricatures, it always varies. You know, most of the time they're just tourists or their girlfriends or lovers and stuff, but they always have a different backstory. What was your weirdest encounter with a customer when you did a caricature, or craziest or something, or too many?
I'm sure there's something, and when I leave this room, I'm gonna think of it. But right now, I found it like I'm on the spot. I don't know.
Like anything back in the States, any Balboa or anything in Korea and stuff. Any interesting characters?
My go-to story that I always say, I know I have a better one now, and I can't think of it offhand. But the one I always say is I drew some like little tough guy from Detroit.
Little tough guy.
Some little tough guy from Detroit, just like, yo, what's up? You know, some little short like Detroit guy with his Detroit clothes on, and he was with his girlfriend who was like twice as tall as him. Yeah. And actually a man.
What? His girlfriend was a man?
Who had changed herself into a woman or was dressed as a woman. I don't know if you knew or if you didn't know, but I'm pretty sure she was a man.
Okay.
And that's my one story, and I got other ones, but I can't think of them right now.
So how was their caricature?
I don't remember. I think it was good.
Just that.
Oh no! I did it at a fair one time, and there was this. She was an old lady. Okay, she was like maybe 50.
Yeah.
And she had her boyfriend with her, and he was a young guy. He was like maybe going on 30, maybe 25. Mm-hmm. I don't know, something young. And she was like this old, like haggard, like kind of old lady, but she was funny. But they were boyfriend and girlfriend. At first, I thought it was his grandma or his mom or something. She's like, "No, we're dating." I thought they were joking, but they were real. They were cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are the best customers though. The people that got some kind of strange thing, you know, like some kind of. The people the bad customers or the difficult customers are the ones that are normal. and are worried that maybe they're not normal, so they're coming to you to find out.
Yeah, you're like a psychiatrist, like a doctor.
Or if they just want the benefit of like a fast portrait that it's cheaper.
Because the other guy is busy, doing those charcoal drawings.
Yeah.
And they think it's exactly the same, but you go to a caricature place and like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Like that.
As long as it's something like that. As long as if a reaction that's like, what is this? Or like, that. I mean, as long as it's something like, if they're offended or as long as there's some kind of reaction that says I did something that's unique, then that's fine. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. I remember one time I worked in, it was in Insadong, Samjigil area.
Yeah.
And it was myself, Lauren, and there was one other person, one other Korean, maybe Sujin or something. And we were all drawing there, and as a foreigner, when you're working there, if you don't understand Korean, you're not really talking too much most of the time. You're just kind of drawing, or in a way you're slowly kind of keeping to yourself. And I just remember this one time where Lauren, he was working a lot of Korean customers, and then finally there was like this white couple, like this man and this woman. And then I could just see in his face like oh, perfect, like I could talk with them, we can actually have an engaging conversation, we can discuss things while doing a caricature of them. So they both sit down, and then he starts to draw them, and he's like, so where are you two from? And then the man says, we are from Russia. And then Laura's just like, alrighty then. Just like drawing and stuff. Like I remember once I went to Lotte World, and sometimes it's kind of dead, like people don't really get interested, you have to do something. It's surprising how that happens sometimes, and I remember I was just standing out there, and I was like, hey, you guys want caricature? I felt like I was trying to sell drugs. Hey man, you want some caricatures? Like, you want some stuff? And then I was just like walked away, and then I saw this one guy, he was Middle Eastern, right? He had like a mustache and a bald head and stuff. And then I was like, hey sir, do you want to get a caricature? And he's like, no, it's okay for my friend. I'm like, no, don't worry, it's like $10 just for like black and white, really fast, 5 minutes, whatever, no problem. And then I could see I was slowly convincing him, but there was still something in his mind to like, he wanted to make sure about something, right? And then he just said to me, he goes, if you make caricature of me, I want to have billows of smoke behind me with big fire from the oil wells, and then my face, I want it to be all dirty because of the fire, and my face have this hard face because of the heat. Can you do that for me? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, because at that point, if you need to make some money, you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna draw whatever you can for you. And then I sat down with him, and he was a guy who actually worked in Kuwait for several years, and he worked during the Kuwait fires. So during those times, there was like oil spills everywhere, and then once those things go on fire, it just billows of smoke everywhere, constantly. So even though it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, you can never see the sky. It's just like all dark everywhere. And it's like a desert. It's like pure apocalyptic and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, Like, and he had such a specific request, to have that as his caricature, I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, how can I draw like billows of smoke and like this type of apocalyptic thing, My go-to thing was like, Superman pose, or like, like a princess, but how to do that kind of stuff. And then afterwards I was kind of nervous because when I was drawing, some people would walk by, and I see like a little Korean girl like walking with her dad. She's like, hey, look, Dad, it's caricatures. It's like this is not really helping at all. Like, no one's really wanting
they
this.
Can draw you with billows of smoke.
Yeah, billows of smoke. And then finally, when I showed him, okay, here you go, and he looked at it, and he was really quiet, and I was like, oh fuck. Okay.
You were there, weren't you?
And then he just said, it's good, but I want to have the coordinates of the exact place I was. Write this down. S 45 degrees, 62, and I was like writing all these numbers down. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing and stuff? Finally, I gave it to him. He was like completely satisfied because I just put whatever he wanted. And then his wife came, and she had like one of those kind of burqas, and she had like 3 kids, like one in one arm, one on the stroller, and one walking beside her, and they weren't talking in English, but I could totally get the feeling what they're saying. He was kind of like, hey wife, look at this caricature I just got of me in Kuwait. And she's like, you and your fucking Kuwait stores, like all these kids over here, where were you? We're waiting all over for you and stuff. And just kind of like walked away. It was like, wow, that was intense, This is so funny how, you can just totally meet so many really interesting people, because you never really know who's going to come up and approach you. It's like, that is one of the coolest ways to meet strangers and stuff. And it's one of those things, like, how interesting is it just to be drawn to getting a caricature done? It's something really different about it than, just going and getting a drawing and stuff. Sometimes it's just, just remember a memory, but always, there's something very interesting when you meet people like that, and just like, wow, like I would never have the chance to meet someone like that at all.
That's true.
Right? Like, you would never approach them in life. Like, how crazy is that,
I never thought about that before.
And then afterwards, it's just like, you have a good conversation, and sometimes you never know. Like, you're going to have a good contact out of that and things. So do you ever do any type of events or parties or anything like that?
I did a lot back in San Diego. Here in Korea, they pay very poorly. You do better working at a slow day at Lotte, I think, than doing an event. It's like, am I allowed to, it's like $75 for like 3 hours or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe that's just what...
You gotta check your receipts, my friend. You gotta check that receipt. Oh, no,
that's just the standard prices, huh?
Yeah.
But I don't know, people...
Which is weird, because it would make sense. It would actually be more money to make from that, right? From an event, if you're doing a special occasion.
Yeah.
Because at events, you're probably drawing much more than when you're just doing a regular Tuesday at a caricature stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, per hour, you're probably doing at least, 10, 15 people or 20?
Well, like in an event, yeah. Sounds about right.
And it's all black and white, too, right?
Yeah. Well, I think, maybe Koreans don't really know about the caricatures. Either that, or they kind of do, but they're just sort of, really good at bargaining. Maybe just
super bargaining.
It could be my agent, maybe.
My agent, yeah. Yeah, you gotta talk to your agent, my friend.
But anyway, I haven't done a gig in a long time, and I just do Samjigyo and Lotte World.
Samjigyo and Lotte World?
Yeah.
Awesome.
How long have you been doing caricatures for?
I worked with Yanni's caricature place for, I think, about a year and a half.
Just a year?
Yeah, just
you do events now sometimes?
Yeah, I do events now sometimes. I mean, I still love it. I love going. I kind of miss it sometimes because I just like hanging out with people there, and it's much more laid back than working at a company. It's one of the most laid back things you can do. But sometimes, one concern is that it's never stable. It's always fluctuating. You never know. Like, a day is always different from the other. Yeah. Like, you can have an awesome day. You can make $700 in one day, and then the next day you can only make $20, and it's always the same amount of hours and stuff. So it's half of how much you can sell your stuff and half of what day and what location, weather wise and stuff like that. So but in either way it can still be interesting like that. But during the time when I worked there, I worked for a year and a half, and afterwards I started doing more events. Just like what you mentioned, it's really hard, but sometimes at certain events I just kind of do pro bono. I just want to promote what I'm doing and stuff and just go out there. And at least the cool thing here is there's a lot of cool clubs or a lot of cool things that people are doing, and they're just like, hey, just come out for free and just hang out with us and do some caricatures. And then the odd time people will give you some tips, or they'll give you a beer because hey, we really appreciate that. And then you could just hang out with people. It's like you're the guy who doesn't know how to do magic tricks, but hey, I can draw. So if you want, I can draw you for a bit, and you can see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah. But I guess it depends on the event.
I want to go to the Han River. Did you ever see the Han River on
that's a good idea.
Like a vacation day? Everybody's out there. It's a pretty cool scene. It's like Balboa Park, but I don't know. I'm talking like everybody knows Balboa Park, but on river is pretty cool. Everybody's all just kind of walking around, doing different stuff, flying kites, sailing boats.
Yeah, riding bikes. A lot
Riding
of
bikes,
bikes.
a lot of
Everywhere. Both ways.
Both ways.
You know, like, you know, on the path, they have that one line divider.
Mm-hmm.
One's only for bikers. The other one's for pedestrians.
Mm-hmm.
But usually they use both of them.
Oh.
So it's
So
like
the
an issue.
pedestrians got to walk on the line.
Yeah, they're in the middle.
It's a safe spot.
It's like a suicide plan in the movie The Program. They're just lying down in the middle,
Yeah.
just living life to the fullest.
Program.
Like that.
What's the program?
It was like this old movie from the 90s. I say it's old. You know, the 90s is already 20 years ago.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
It's pretty crazy.
I always think of it as if it was only 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But 1990 was about 22 years ago now.
Yeah. Long time ago.
How crazy is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm probably out of touch now. I think we're both. Are we out of touch? We might be out of touch.
Yeah, out of touch with
possible.
reality and stuff.
But every like our generation though is still part of. Like everybody. Oh, it's too complicated to thought to put into words right now. So I can't
I see what you're saying, because for us, we were here right at the birth of the internet, right? We still remember like rotary phones, you know, beepers, payphones. You know, there was like no cell phones at the time before, and you know, when you went outside, you didn't have a cell phone, you were fucked. You couldn't talk to somebody. You know, like, you know how weird that is. It's like when you were young, when you went outside, you called your friend at home and you hoped they would be there at that time at the school back there, like at 6:30.
Yeah.
And if you were there, you were there. And if you're lost, like, you're fucked. You can't do nothing. You know, you just have to like walk around. You gotta like knock at someone's
I did a
door.
lot of that.
You know, it's just like, hey, can I borrow your phone? You know, and just do things like that.
Yeah.
And-
outside was
and-
the place where you couldn't commute. You just outside.
You were
Inside,
just
inside
in
was
the
where you had your
wild.
phone. Inside
Yeah.
was where you had your TV. Oh, different world, huh?
Yeah, but isn't that how weird that was? Like, I totally forgot about that kind of lifestyle. And then now that I think of like how foreign was that, you know, compared to how we're living now. Like, everything is so convenient. And then
It's
back
convenient.
then I was just like, man, I didn't realize like I could have been kidnapped like 15 times, you know, just by going out as a kid and just going on my bikes and just playing, you know, like handball or something. So
I think kids still get kidnapped though.
yes, but that's because they ran out of batteries on their phone, and that's the only reason why you're gonna get kidnapped, son.
One bar. Oh my.
You know, you just had like find my iPhone, just type that in on your web account and stuff. So, okay, you know what? Let's play some games.
Games?
Yeah, we're gonna play some games.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of like a situational game.
Oh boy.
So we have I'm gonna put a list here. I play this with all my guests, and it's basically called Would You Rather. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you, would you rather do this or that?
I'd rather do that.
Okay, and then based on that question, you have to ask as many questions as you can about each option, right? And then
Okay. I think it.
because when you do that, it's not always clear,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there might be something more
Oh
underlying.
yeah, me and my buddy used to play this.
Okay, so then by
Something.
doing that, then you know you can ultimately decide which one you would rather do, and from there I can tell you if you won or not, like a point or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
WouldYouRather.com.
Yes. WouldYouRather.com.
rrather.com. Is this your site?
No, this is just some site. I don't own anything. What's a good one?
Pee in the shower, or what was it?
Okay, let's do that one. Would you rather pee in the shower or
Yes.
pee in the toilet? Okay.
Oh, okay. I would rather pee
But-
in the shower.
But first
Do I
you
have
got
to ask
okay,
questions.
You gotta ask questions first because it's not as easy.
Is it? Am I at somebody else's house or am I at my house?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
You're at someone else's house.
I would still rather pee in the shower, but given the circumstances. Okay, do I have more questions I'm supposed to ask you?
Yes, and the thing is, you're at someone else's house, and that is the only way you're able to urinate. You can never pee in your own house because you have a huge complex to pee.
I pee in the shower at somebody else's house.
No, just the urge to urinate.
I have
The
the
urge to urinate only happens when you're at someone else's house, but you never have the urge to urinate when you're at home. So you develop like this bladder condition. It just gets full. You're just like, I gotta take a major piss. I gotta go to someone's house.
I'm supposed to ask more questions. Can I just answer the question?
You can do that, but I totally recommend asking more questions. That's the whole part of it.
Is it a friend of mine or is it somebody I don't know?
Well, it can be. Okay, it can be. It's actually someone that you know.
Do they pee in the shower?
Actually, they do pee in the shower, but the only the only time when you're able to use the only time you're able to pee in the shower is if you pee with them. I loved how you totally laughed and then you stopped and you seriously considered what that situation was.
I'd rather pee in the shower.
With that other person?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
No, I would rather pee in the toilet. That's my final answer.
You rather pee in the toilet? Okay. Well, the panel is closed for any more questions.
Okay.
The correct answer was peeing in the shower.
Okay.
And the reason why is when you go to someone's house and that's the only time you have the urge to pee, you're sitting on the toilet to pee, you have to sit...
Or standing.
No, you have to sit down while you're peeing because the other person is going to be sitting on top of you while you pee. That's just the situation, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you chose the wrong one.
What happens if I stand up?
Then it just only gets harder for you and easier for them. Whatever that means. Okay.
But you don't get to find out.
No, only if you do YOLO. Okay, let's get another one. But I hope you understand the nature of the game now, right?
I'm not sure that I do entirely, but it's enticing.
Yeah, you have to. The more questions that you ask, the more you can add.
How did John Wick do at this? He did a good job. He win.
Yeah, he went really deep with it.
Did he pee in the shower?
Yeah. And then we actually, we got this whole discussion about rape at the end. It was about being raped by gremlins, and then there were some issues. But people, there's some things funny about rape, and there's some things that are not funny. We don't condone it at all, but sometimes it can be humorous in the right circumstances. So.
Okay. If you say so.
Okay, how about this one?
I kind of gotta pee now.
Well, you're in my house. That's just how it works. Okay.
Well, your house is kind of dirty, so.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty filthy. Would you rather be sick or have a computer virus? Okay, the panel's open up for questions. You may begin, Aaron.
I can just answer it. I guess I don't.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I guess I don't understand the game. Okay. Is it yes or no question, or do I ask any kind of question?
Any question you want.
What kind of sick am I?
That's a great question.
I know.
You have the gout.
The gout?
The severe case of the gout.
It's called the gout?
The gout.
Is that the ghetto version of it, and the regular version is the gout?
Yeah, it's like the gout. And it's pretty severe because it's the ghetto version.
What is the gout? The gout.
What do you think the gout is?
I don't know.
That's a good point. The gout is like this severe mouth problem where your teeth begin to shrink up to the point you have.
I already got it.
Up to the point where you don't even have teeth anymore. You have like baby gums. All your teeth disappear. They don't fall out. They just like get molded over by your gums.
Okay. Well, what's the nature of this computer virus?
The nature of this computer virus is that you actually get it into your body. It's not on your computer. It actually gets...
How do you know all this stuff? Are you just making this up?
Yeah, I'm making this up.
This is all you?
Yeah.
Ad-libbing?
Yeah.
This is
Anyways, so you get this computer virus, but it doesn't actually... It's only when you use the internet that it gets transmitted through your fingertips. And then anytime you have an awkward situation, you actually get a virus in your body that gives you more porno, It's one of those viruses that it just constantly gives you porno whether you want it or not.
Oh.
I know, this is tough.
Tell me more.
That's not a question. Yeah, that's a question. Tell me more?
Does it do any harm to my files?
To your files, meaning your brain? Or the computer files?
Oh, this doesn't harm my computer?
No, it actually literally transmits into your body. So you get a computer virus, but it does not stay in your computer. Rather, it somehow transmits into your body with nanotechnology.
So my computer's fine.
Yes, but you have a computer virus in your body.
And how does this virus affect me?
It gives you like viruses. So every time you have a boner, it gives you like all these porn websites inside your personal database.
This is fascinating.
Welcome to the future.
Maybe this is the future.
Yeah. 20 years ago.
Okay. I'll be sick.
You want to be sick?
Gout's not so bad.
The gout? Okay. Well, I'm sorry to say, but the correct answer is have a computer virus, because when you get the gout, you have no more teeth, and it actually stays in your body and it moves all towards your anus. So what happens is that you get teeth around your bumhole. And then you become your own worst nightmare, which is like you become like a single human centipede to yourself. And then you become a single entity for consuming and defecating forever and ever for infinite time and space.
I consume
yourself, yeah.
I consume backwards?
You have to literally eat out of your ass and you have to poo out of your mouth.
Do I still have taste buds? The questioning is over, isn't it? I've already lost.
It's already over. You should have asked that before you made the choice.
I think now you lose everything.
No. There's always the right answer, but you got to pick the right one. But because you didn't ask as many questions as you should have.
Does this depend on my reasoning ability to somehow?
Yeah, the more questions you have, the more concrete this reality is. So you can most likely choose the right. We'll do one more because now you got it right.
Maybe.
And you're also 0 for 2. So this one, if you do well, you can get 3 points. Would you rather have invisibility and teleportation at will, or would you rather have the ability to read minds and fly? That's a good question.
Invisibility and teleportation at
would you
will.
rather have the ability to be invisible and teleport,
read minds,
or have the ability to read minds and fly? The panel is up for discussion. You may ask any questions.
Invisibility and transportation at will. Is this the kind of invisibility where you can come in contact with the natural world, or is this the kind where you go through and you don't feel it, or partially?
That's a great question. Actually, what happens, this type of invisibility is...
For all my great questions, I don't...
You actually turn into a ghost. So you're not necessarily invisible. So you go to a different frequency and you can see everyone, but like, hey, I'm over here. But they cannot hear you or see you.
I can see everything.
You can see everything, but they cannot hear or they cannot see you. It's kind of like, you're like...
Can I feel pain?
Only emotional pain. Physical pain, no. You actually start to become, gradually more depressed because people can't really, understand what you're saying, or they don't even acknowledge you there.
Okay. Ability to read minds and fly at will. At Wilfred Lee?
Ha 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 ha. That could make or break you. You might have got some bonus points or not.
Ability to read minds.
Yes.
And fly. What? How do minds work?
How do minds work?
Yeah.
You mean like reading the mind?
What am I reading exactly?
You're reading someone's mind, like psychic abilities. But in this case, you're literally reading inside their head. like their head is like a book, and then inside their brain is like all these different words and thoughts that come out. So you can actually open up their brain and read it.
How high can I fly?
You can fly as high as far as you want. How about that?
Ability to read minds.
You can fly.
I have the ability to read minds. That doesn't mean I'm obligated to read minds.
And it also says at will. So you don't have to. Right? It is optional whether you want to use these powers.
Well, of course I'd fly if I could.
Yes.
It's nice that I have that option.
Nice.
Mosquito. Ability to read minds. If I want to open somebody's head and fly, I got the option. Invisibility and transportation at will.
Teleportation, not transportation.
Transportation.
Invisibility and free Metro Pass for life. I'm in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I can't fly.
Yeah.
Invisibility, teleportation.
You got 10 seconds.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Invisibility and teleportation. I want ability to read minds and fly.
Is that your final question?
That's
and
my
answer?
final answer. Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, that is correct.
Yes.
You do have the ability to read minds and fly. Doing so, every time you open someone's mind to read literally their brain and all their thoughts, you actually kill them in the process, because obviously that would be silly if they could still be alive with having the brain wide open. So because of your ability to fly, you can escape any type of situation, and you become this type of serial killer, and later they make a movie based on you called Chronicle. So you'll be okay.
Is that what Chronicle's about?
I that's what I assume. So
okay.
Anyway, so that's pretty good. Because of that final one,
three.
you get bonus 3 points, so you won. Congratulations.
Oh, fantastic.
You won. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up pretty soon. We've been going on for a while.
Okay.
Over an hour.
Oh, we're so dark. Look at us.
Yeah, we're so dark. That's so racist. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much from us. You know, I just want to say thank you to Aaron for coming out. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and do you want to do any shout outs or anything, or you want to let people know about stuff?
There's a place called veryunderground.com with Jeremy Townsend, Jert.
And also a great caricature artist too.
Yeah, fantastic caricature artist.
And he does a lot of tutorials.
Oh yeah.
He does those tutorials.
That's Jimmy James. That's his friend.
Jimmy James is his friend.
Jimmy James. Jimmy
James.
James is the guy lead singer from
that punk band from the New York scene.
Okay.
Whatever that
and
means.
also Sue Kim's on there, and she's good. So we're doing cartoons and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just throwing cartoons this way every once a week, and
cool.
So check that out. Beastheads, San Diego, Andy Urzula, Brian Oakes,
represent
everybody else in the world. Nate Kabnicki just had a book come out.
Yeah,
called Beasted. You gotta get that book because it's a fantastic book and caricatures, and have good times. Lots of celebrities in there, and it's about as good as it gets, I think.
Awesome. Okay, and everyone, don't remember to like our page, Artist Journey, at Facebook. Just type in Artist Journey. We have a group page and we have an actual page. So just remember to like and join each one, and you can get a lot of inspirational posts that we post daily. And anytime you have someone in mind that you want to think would be great for an interview, just let us know, and maybe we might actually do it. So thanks again to Aaron. Congratulations, buddy. You're going to get married. You're going to become a family man.
Yeah.
You guys are going to make an amazing baby who's going to be like the combination of all those caricature skills.
Yeah. We're hoping.
Fingers crossed, everyone. So have a good night, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.